Did you know you can sell your unused bandwidth and actually get paid for it? This device from Wayru makes it possible. Welcome back to the Mining Minds YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about Wayru. Now, this device right here is one of Wayru's first devices. This one right here is the Apocalypse model. They do have other models, but in this specific video, we're going to be covering just the Apocalypse model, which is a in-home or a more so an inside unit. This could be placed at, say, a coffee shop, a retail store, or even at home. This device, essentially what it does is it shares the unused bandwidth from your current setup at home and essentially gets you paid for sharing that extra bandwidth with other people. Now, of course, why would I want to get into something like this? The main reason, of course, is to earn Wayru tokens. Now, these tokens are essentially a way to get paid by sharing your unused bandwidth. Now, I've been mining with Wayru for a little over a week now, so you can see if this is something you'd like to get into as well. Now, I personally got into this because I was already into a similar project called Helium Mobile. Helium Mobile is a similar project to Wayru, but this one mostly focuses on just Wi-Fi. Helium Mobile, while it also offers Wi-Fi products, it also is a little bit more geared towards the cellular networks as well. The real-world application for this device goes a little bit like this. So let's say you are in an area that does not have a very solid connection on your phone. If you are within proximity of one of these devices, your phone will be able to automatically connect to one of these, giving you always a really strong connection. I'm sure you've experienced this before where you go in an area and the coverage is not that great and the speeds are extremely slow. Wayru is going to be fixing this issue by essentially creating a network of these hotspots, so wherever you go, you will always have a connection. That's the whole idea of Wayru. Now, this device, being that it is a indoor model, this is perfect if you're looking to set it up at, say, like a coffee shop or a retail store or anything like that. I'm personally using it at home. And Wayru, in the beginning, as we are definitely in the early stages of this project, you are able to run up to 3 devices in one location and not have your rewards be diminished by having too many of these devices in one area. There's certainly no need to have too many devices in one area just because, well, you're probably giving no extra connection to anyone. Therefore, you're not really incentivized to run a whole bunch of them in one location. They definitely are wanting to have these dispersed out in a wide area, therefore giving you better coverage. There's no need to have a whole bunch in one single spot unless maybe it's like a large area like a mall or something like that. But for most people, having 1 or up to 3 is definitely going to be enough. So when I first got the Apocalypse in the mail, it came in a box like this. Now, getting it up and going was a mixed experience in my opinion, because when I first got it, I simply just plugged it into the wall, plugged in the Ethernet cord into the WAN port on the back, but getting it up and going was a little tricky, and the reason was this. They didn't actually give me the password to get connected to it so I could set it up on the network. That was a little bit frustrating. I ended up having to go on Discord and contact their customer support directly. I will say that their customer support was great, so I'll give them a thumbs up on that. Though, why would you not give us the password so we can actually get this connected? To me, that just seems unnecessary. Like, even just putting a little card in there would have been great. Instead, I had to go out of my way to contact them just so I can get this up and going. That, to me, was a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, but once I got past that, I actually have to say, getting it up on the network was really good because all I had to do was essentially send $50 worth of Solana. That's pretty much the price to actually get this onboarded onto the network. So getting this unit itself first is something you'll have to purchase. I will say it's definitely one of the most affordable DEPIN devices that you can buy. As of right now, you can usually pick these up for around $120. And then with the $50 deposit of Solana, basically you're looking at 170-ish to get started, which to me, I don't think that's really that bad of a deal considering routers in general can be a ton of money. You can spend hundreds on a normal router that doesn't get you paid. And the performance this router has is actually a lot better than what my internet provider even allows me to get up to in terms of speed. This can perform up to multiple gigabits per second. So there's without a doubt, this is actually a really nice router for a really good price, and it gets you paid. How many routers can you say do that? But of course, how much does this make? Is this something you should get into? Let's go over the earnings and see if this is something you would like to do as well. Now, me personally, like I said, I've been doing this for a little bit over a week now. So my earnings have ranged a little bit depending on the amount of usage. I've connected a decent amount of my devices in my house to be running off of these routers simply so I can start stacking up these coins. Now, anyone that's within proximity, which being that I live in an apartment, technically anyone here could connect to this, which will help me earn more Wayru. Now, for me personally, I've had a little bit of a range from around the 400 up to 800 Wayru per day. And with a token that has a max supply of 10 billion tokens, to earn anywhere from 400 to even 800 tokens a day, that actually is a pretty decent amount when you do the math, as if you calculate that over a year's period, that could be up to 380,000 tokens. Now, I don't suspect this will actually earn that much, just simply because I do believe that the earnings will decrease over time as more miners get onto the network. But don't let that discourage you, because even with something, again, that costs $170, I think you're going to be able to get a much better return on your investment than some other DEPIN projects out there, simply because we're really early. The early bird gets the worm, and this is definitely no exception to that. And as I've said, I'm running actually 2 of these miners in my household right now, so I'm actually able to stack even more tokens. Run up to 3, and you're going to maximize the amount of earnings. Now, I also got a link in the description below. If you buy it through Helium Deploy, I'm going to give you guys an awesome code that you can use. It also helps support out the channel, but it will also give you a bonus on your earnings where you get a better multiplier, and meaning that the amount of tokens you earn per day is going to be increased. Now, would this be a device I would use to actually replace my current router? In my opinion, I would. Why wouldn't you want to just connect all your devices to this? Because the more data that is ran through the Apocalypse, the more you earn. So in my opinion, if you're going to do this, I would make this your primary router. That's just my opinion. You can do what you want, but this is what I'm personally doing so I can earn the most as possible. And now I just want to share some of my personal thoughts and opinions about Wayru. So in my opinion, I think this has a ton of potential. Now, in order for Wayru to really have a great amount of success, it definitely needs a lot of people deploying these miners. Being that they are Wi-Fi based, the range on one of these devices is arguably its biggest limitation. For something like this being the Apocalypse miner, it is an indoor unit. They do have the Prometheus, which is a outdoor unit, which is great if you're looking to actually extend the coverage for something like this, as again, these are Wi-Fi connections. These are not cellular. So in order for, I'd say, for Wayru to be successful, it really requires a lot of people getting onto the network. Being that most of the time, I would suspect most people are going to pick up the indoor unit. 1, because it's cheaper, and 2, not everyone's going to want to deploy something outside. It's certainly a lot easier to just plug something inside and earn the coins that way. So in order for Wayru, in my opinion, to do really well, it's going to require a lot of people to get onto the network. By a lot, I do mean several thousands to 100,000s of people in order for a project like this to truly take off and become mainstream. So your participation is definitely required if you're looking to earn a great ROI, as ultimately the project's value is going to be based on the real world value that it provides, in my opinion, in the long term. Now, let's talk about the actual performance of the router itself, because again, I'm personally using this as a primary device. Me personally, like I've said, it has the ability to support multiple gigabit per second. So the speeds that this can produce is definitely more than sufficient to run all your devices off of in your household. It has plenty of Ethernet ports on the back, so if you do want a direct connection, you have 4 ports that you can use, which I think is more than enough. If you need more, you can always connect a splitter to it. But if you have multiple of these, I mean, now we're talking 8 or even 12 Ethernet ports available. Should be enough for most people, in my opinion. Now, how exactly would Wayru stack up against other similar projects such as Roam or even Helium Mobile? In my opinion, this is definitely a similar device, but it specializes in Wi-Fi. Helium Mobile is a little bit more of a hybrid in that it supports both Wi-Fi and cellular. I think with Wayru doing more of the Wi-Fi approach, I think it does have a little bit of a limitation just because, again, the range of a Wi-Fi connection. If we see that the performance on these Prometheus devices are more than sufficient, then maybe it's good. But I do see it having some competition, as Helium Mobile does have support for a cellular connection, which in my opinion can oftentimes probably look a little bit more appealing. because not only do you have a Wi-Fi connection when you're within reach of one of those Helium Mobile hotspots, but you also still have the base layer of currently at this time being, it's running mostly off of T-Mobile's network. This one right here, in order to really take advantage of it, you got to be within proximity of one of these miners. So that's just something to take into account. But I still think this has its place in the market. I don't think Helium Mobile alone is going to exist in the future. I think we're going to have very likely some type of competition. Wayru is one of those competitors. Now, how much do I actually expect for something like this to actually earn? Now, being that we are so early into Wayru right now, you're not really going to be able to sell these tokens right away. Now, how much do I actually expect for these to make? I mean, certainly the whole reason we're here is to create more passive income. So here are my projections so far. With a market cap of 10 billion tokens, I would definitely say that reaching at least a 1 billion market cap at the peak of the bull run is certainly possible. In retrospect, what that does mean is that if at a high, this is earning 800 coins per day, at a projected up to 10 cents per coin, that could be $80 per day from something like this. And that definitely seems a lot, and it certainly is a lot, but that is also the benefit of getting into it early, as that would be the retrospect price of what you would be earning. What do I think is probably more realistic upfront? I'd say probably anywhere from a $50 to $100 million market cap. To me, seems probably pretty reasonable. We're probably looking a little bit closer to $3 to, on a higher side, $8 off the bat. That's my projection of how much these will be earning per day once the coin has gone live. That's just a guess. I truly don't know. We'll ultimately have to see. But the only way to find out is to pick up one of these and try it for yourself. Now, I want to know what you think. Is this something that you would actually get into as well? I think Wayru has a ton of potential. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below if this is something you would do. Are you already doing something similar, such as Helium Mobile or Roam? Let me know in the comments down below so I can see what you guys are interested in and what your recommendations are. If you don't like Wayru, let me know. If you do like Wayru, also let me know. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you haven't liked it, make sure to thumbs up this video. Also, make sure to subscribe to the Mining Minds YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. I love sharing all the things about all these projects that I've gotten into in hopes that you can find new ways to create passive income in your life. If you like earning passive income using DEPIN devices, definitely make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Mining Minds YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one.